Mommy Talk, the champions of parenting. Dr. Pert, Miss Lisa, and Miss April. Real, relatable, and right on time. Mommy Talk provides information for all facets of parenting. Listen and engage as the champions of parenting bring their experience and expertise to the world of parenthood.
Our listeners can expect to receive encouragement and resources that can help them with positive parental engagement. Come talk to us. Hello, good evening, champion parents, and welcome to our platform where we discuss topics that are real, relatable, and right on time.
Right on time.
Right on time. Come talk to us, Dr. Pert, Miss Lisa, and Miss April this evening. Well, ladies, I'm excited. How about you?
I'm very excited. Ecstatic.
Miss April, you excited? Are you?
Oh, I'm definitely excited. Excited and anticipating
Okay,
our
good.
topic for
yes,
today.
We have to show my brother some love. Today, we are talking about the recruitment of black men as educators, as mentors, and as mentors. We're honored to have in the discussion Detroit's very own Quan Neloms.
Woo woo!
Hey, Quan.
Hey, what's going on, you guys?
Hello, how are you?
I'm great.
Good. So Quan Neloms is a 17-year educator whose work focuses primarily on boys and men of color and community partnerships. Quan is the founder of the Lyricist Society, a program that uses creative mediums to uplift students' voice in demand, an initiative with the goal of attracting more black men as educators, volunteers, mentors, and teachers. Once again, Mr. Quan, what's up?
What's up?
Mr. Quan, what's up, Nellum?
Yeah.
So just a quick fact in which Mr. Quan will speak to this. So did you know that black males make up only 2% of the population in the field of education? Did you all know that?
2%? Wow.
Yeah, we talked about that
We
on one of
did.
our shows.
We
absolutely did.
Yeah, so that's very low. So, Quan, if I can go a little bit out of order, if you could kind of give us an idea of what got you started and interested in what you do.
As far as within demand, recruiting black men to schools as educators, mentors, and volunteers, it's just a need. You know, I think that when you talk about those numbers, 2% of the teaching population, that means that there's a perspective that's not there.
Absolutely.
You know, and so just wanted to make sure that black men's perspective is in the mix when it comes to education. Frederick Douglass said that it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And since our children are in schools for the majority of their life, young lives, and majority of the time, you know, that's a great place to get started with, you know, building strong kids. And we need the perspective of men, black men, in the mix to help build those strong kids.
Absolutely. And I just wanted to point out, just thinking about that made me think about, you know, the Black Lives Matter. When the Black Lives Matter came about, and then people would kind of counter and say that all lives matter. And then we would tell them, no, all lives don't matter, because we are the part of the all lives that don't matter. And that's why we say, you know, Black Lives Matter. And so when I think of that, I think of your mission and what you're doing. You're not saying that only black men would make good educators, but we just need more of the black men into the mix.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, indeed.
Okay. So, I was interested. The Lyricist Society you guys have done. I didn't know that. I just read that you guys got a Grammy.
Emmy.
Emmy. I'm sorry.
My God.
Yes.
That's nice.
So, Lyricist Society over the years have won a number of awards. Back in 2015, we won Michigan History Day. We had the opportunity to go to the University of Maryland to compete nationally. We also Emmy Award winning for music video production. Then also there was a short documentary done about Lyricist Society that also won an Emmy.
Okay.
That's nice. So I
What's
guess
the name of the? I'm sorry. What's the name of the documentary?
It's something that's put out by the city of Detroit.
We'll get
If you,
back to
yeah,
that.
if you type in Lyricist Society
It'll come
on
up.
the city of Detroit or on YouTube, you can it'll pop right up as the neighborhoods initiative that they have. So.
Okay, caller. So if you're
So-
listening, that is the Lyricist Society.
right. I'm
Detroit,
sure our listeners want to know, how can someone become a part of the Lyricist Society?
All right, so Lyricist Society, right now we are out of a couple schools. Mumford High School,
Nice.
Davis Aerospace. I mean to say the whole name, Davis Aerospace Technical High School.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So we're out of Davis Aerospace as well. So you just have to be a student that attends one of those schools. We're looking to. There's a few programs that's like Lyricist Society in other schools as well, but, we're always looking to go into schools. So if you're someone, a teacher, counselor at one of the schools, and you think that Lyricist Society would be a program that you think your students could benefit from, you can contact us at lyricist@gmail.com, and we'll definitely be willing to come out and see how we can be activated in your school.
Nice.
So is this only for high school students, or what's the age range?
Yeah, so we do middle and high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So middle starting from 6th grade?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Noted.
Yeah. So, Mr. Neloms, how difficult is it to recruit black men in the education field?
All right. So here's that there's a crisis all over the
Yes, it is.
country of attracting teachers, but what my experiences has been is that a lot of times when it comes to black men, I find it somewhat not as difficult just by asking. We do high school tours where we go to high school and we kind of expose students to, hey, teaching is actually a possibility. I don't know if when I go back to when I was in high school, although I was surrounded by teachers, I was never, introduced to, hey, teaching is a possibility for you. And
Yeah.
so
Because most kids be like, oh, I couldn't be a teacher.
yeah, but and I thought the same thing. I actually started out in college as a material science engineer, and this is why the volunteer and mentor part is important. Is because my segue into teaching came as a volunteer. As an 18-year-old, I volunteered at a local middle school. And when I saw what was going on in the school as far as the
You volunteered in a Detroit school?
Detroit school,
Okay.
yeah. Peter
Because you
Victor.
went to what high school now?
I went to Mumford High School.
Okay.
Oh, you're a graduate of Mumford?
Yeah,
Okay.
98. Yeah.
Okay.
So
And what college did you graduate
Wayne State.
from? Wayne State?
State
Okay.
University, yeah.
Good.
And so-
Warriors, right? Wayne State Warriors?
So when I first started there, we were the Tartars. And then
okay.
they switched it to the Warriors. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a Tartar first, and then we became the Warriors. So, but yeah, so I volunteered, and it really changed my mind on what teaching could be, and I really actually changed my major because of those experiences. And so I think that, in fact, I volunteered with maybe about 4 other people that summer, and everybody in that group are teachers now.
Okay.
And so and we didn't start off as one of the teachers, but we ended up becoming
But that
And so-
experience,
So, I
yeah.
think that being able to see that firsthand, being able to volunteer with students is very important. And so one of the things that we try to do with our high school tours is actually this year, along with Teach 313, we want to connect those young men who are in 11th and 12th grade with the opportunities to work during the summer, get paid, but also to see how it is what a career in education could be. And
Okay.
so,
That's
yeah.
cool. That's a good segue.
So
Yeah.
let me ask you
I
this
wanted to
question.
ask, I'm sorry, just
Okay.
since you just said about Teach 313. So what exactly is
So
that?
Teach 313 is a campaign to attract teachers to Detroit. And so they go, citywide, statewide, nationwide, going around trying to attract teachers to Detroit with different incentives as well. So I think it's teach313.org. I was a fellow with Teach 313, in demand. it's nestled under Teach 313, and so they give me the opportunity to really go ahead and attract black men to the city. And so that's something that's, when I came in, I said, this is what I want to do. I want to definitely play a part in attracting black men, not just as educators, but also as mentors and volunteers. Because one of the things that we do know is that to really have an impact and change our city, it's too daunting of a task for teachers to do alone. We need community. We need parents. We all have to work together.
Yeah, and it's important for us to have black men represented because we need mentors. The students need mentors and teachers who look like them and who can relate to them. So that's why the emphasis is on black men.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we've seen with research is that particularly black boys who are in school, they tend to achieve more when they have a positive black male presence in the school.
That's vital.
So I guess my question is, and I know that a lot of our listeners are wondering the same thing too, being that it's hard to attract just anybody, whether female or male, to the education profession. Somebody out there I know is thinking, hey, yeah, I'm thinking about being a teacher, but the pay. So what would you tell somebody who's listening right now who's thinking like, what, I wouldn't mind being a teacher to have great influence over our African American children. However, I don't know if it will give me the lifestyle that I want to live.
Indeed. So what I will say is that you would definitely flex your entrepreneurial skills as a teacher, But I don't want to discourage anybody because, I mean, we hear that a lot, that the pay is whack, the pay is improving,
It's not terrible.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I'm saying, it's not terrible.
Because I know students, they're like, how much you get paid?
Yeah.
Like $5 an hour?
That's
They think it's just terrible.
So,
but it's not terrible.
It's not terrible. And I think that, of course, teachers do need to get paid more because we put more hours in
We
than just the
definitely
time. In school, that's showtime, but the amount of time we put in outside of school and just with, the attachments to our families and to our students and, those hours go unpaid. And so we do spend a lot of time, outside of hours outside of getting paid. So.
So I wanted to mention something because, we all need support. We need a foundation, no matter how great you are, because you are great. But you have a foundation and you have support. You're married with 2 young men.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
How old are your children?
My oldest is 11, Matthias, and my youngest, Maddox, is 9.
Cool.
Nice. So
are you a champion at parenting?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely.
I'm a champion parent.
Yes. So how do your wife and your sons fit into what you do?
Yeah, so, my wife is definitely my support. She helps me out tremendously. She's a very skillful administrator. She's skillful in a lot of other ways that help out the things that I'm doing. My kids, they definitely help me put things in perspective. I think about them when I make decisions. As far as talking about utilizing the community, because I'm one of those teachers who I took personal responsibility for the school. Like it's like the school was mine. It's like whatever happens, right. and like I said previously, it's too daunting of a task for us to take that on all by ourselves.
That's
and so I had to learn through my kids. Actually, taught me that I had to share the responsibility because a lot of times, and it's actually selfish. And from my behalf, it was paternalistic, where I didn't ask for help. I would say, I can do it, or I'll do it, And really, I would do it, but it came at a tremendous sacrifice. And the sacrifice was time with my kids. And so one morning, my son woke up. This is my oldest. This is when he was a little younger. A few years back, and I still wake up like very early, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning to go and work out. And my son, he just happened to be up at that time as well. And he said, we talked a little bit, and I said, all right, son, go back to bed. I'll talk to you later. And he said, okay, Dad, I'll see you tomorrow. And when I thought about that, I was like, wait a minute, and he was right. Because by the time I would have got home that night, it was one of my late nights, they would have been in the bed, and I would have effectively not seen my son all day. Wow. And so at that point, I knew that I had to change something. And the biggest thing I had to change was that I had to share the responsibility. So much was poured into me, I just wanted to give it back. But I was actually selfishly giving back, if that's a word, because I wasn't sharing that responsibility and that feeling of altruism, that feeling of making a difference. I wasn't sharing it with the team, which was families, parents, other
That's
teachers.
right.
And so once I started asking for help, and that's become my motto, that, that's why it's teachers, mentors, and volunteers that we trying to attract, because teachers, we need teachers, but we need the whole team involved as well. And
That's
so,
right.
after I made those adjustments, I was able to have more time for family, and oddly enough, have more time to do the things like In Demand and Lyricist Society without having to just do it all myself. Because as teachers, when we do it all ourselves, it's cool. We burn out, but it's cool for a while. But we start to have resentment towards others, and that's one of the things that I definitely did not want to have. So.
And I think that's really huge that you said that, you made that sacrifice. You just didn't think about yourself. You thought like, hey, my child basically said he'll see me tomorrow. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me share my love and my responsibility as a father and a husband. Yeah, I think that's huge, because a lot of times we get so caught up on our own goals that sometimes we neglect the people who we are supposed to give our attention to. So that's huge, making that adjustment.
Yeah,
And
it is.
I think it's amazing, honestly. Quan, I think I can't say it enough, but I think it's amazing what you do. And I don't know if you ever remember me kind of harassing you that my son, who is back here asleep, that he is one of your future students, yes, and lyricists. And I wish he was awake right now. But I think it's important, the whole idea of the village that we have to support one another. And if you don't, we say this often, that if you don't have a village, you have to create. Sometimes you have to create your village. You have to create the village within your surroundings, but you also sometimes you may have to go out, to draw that village in. So I scream village all day long. Amen.
Yeah. So, Mr. Neloms, who is or was your biggest influence?
Man, the way I've been blessed through my life, God has, at every pivotal point in my life, has had somebody there for me. First starting off with my parents, my father, my mother father was my first teacher. My mother instilled a sense of cultural identity in me. When I was a teenager, there was a program in Detroit called Project Adapt with Ms. Rush.
What school was that?
This was at the Northwest Activity Center.
Okay.
And so this was every Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and you had young kids from all over the city that would come, and we would meet. They pretty much changed my whole way of thinking about eating, about living. They took us on college tours every year. We went to Black Man think tanks every year. Miss Rush's her whole goal was to move from ghetto to global.
Awesome.
Once I got into college, Dennis Talbert, he was the youth pastor. The whole reason why I started volunteering at Peter Vital, he was a youth pastor in the Brightmoor area. And the crazy thing is that the way this connection to the community that they had is that when the principal was actually absent, the youth pastor would be the acting principal, while he was absent. And then there was, the whole reason I started Lyricist Society. I don't know if you guys remember a group called KS and Maestro back in the day.
I kind of remember that.
So there was a Detroit
they
group.
sing a song or something?
Before our time, Miss Lisa may know.
I remember that song.
All right. Well, anyway, Maestro, Jason Wilson, I met him when I was a senior in high school. He gave myself and a lot of my friends a chance to rap and put our lyrics, our voice on to be recorded on wax, and that changed. I mean, normally I was a very shy person. I'm still a shy person, but being able to hear my voice made me understand that I actually had a voice. And so that's what I try to do with my students with Lyricist Society, is really, seeing those kids who may have a non-traditional approach to music, whether it's hip-hop, making beats, and give them a voice, and just to see how kids react when they hear their voice. And we do music videos as well when they see themselves rapping, how other kids react. And then for them to actually be talking about something on a song as well. And so, those are my influences, and I try to bring all those influences into, my sector in the classroom as a counselor. I try to give that to students as well, because it was poured into me my whole life.
Nice. Hey, caller. Welcome to Mommy Talk.
Hi,
Hey.
how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How you doing, ladies?
Great.
Great, we're awesome.
We sitting in here talking to Mr. Quan Neloms. He is
I
the man
know,
with the
and
plan.
I'm listening, and I just want to tell him that he is doing an awesome job. Keep up the good work, and I will be praying, because we do need more black teachers, especially male,
Yes.
because a lot of the families, the female is the head of the household, and they have boys that do not have that father figure.
Yes.
So we need a lot more of that. So tell him, I'm telling you, keep up the good work, and God
He's
bless.
listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for calling, Champion Parent.
Yes. Okay. Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so, Mr. Neloms, what's next for you?
So we continuing to just beat that drum about needing more black men involved in the schools as teachers, mentors, and volunteers. I believe that serving our youth is really a rite of passage. Throughout history, there's been cultures in which every man had to serve in the military before you can call yourself a man, right?
Yeah.
And so I believe that every man in the city of Detroit needs to serve our youth in some type of way. Educators, of course. If you're not an educator, you don't want to be an educator, you can definitely mentor. You can definitely volunteer. And so that's what's next with me. I've been getting a lot of correspondence dealing with men who are actually looking to be mentored. Now, what I mean by that is that they're teachers who saying, man, I feel like quitting. And so they've been asking for, like, I need some type of group, like you said, the village, we say the tribe, and so starting March 14th, the second Saturday of every month, starting March 14th, we're starting a support group for men who serve youth. And so that'll be at from 10 to 12, Rosedale Park Baptist Church every second Saturday. Child care is provided as well. YMCA will be there providing free play in the gym. So we're just looking to really support our men who are in, we do have men that's already in the field, that's already working, doing the work. We want to definitely recruit those who are not in the field yet, young juniors and seniors in high school who looking for something to get into. Teaching is a wonderful profession to get into. And then just for the men who looking, volunteering at a school gave me purpose, when I was 18. So young men who are looking for purpose, we want to help to provide that by connecting them with a school, with community organizations that can utilize their talents and skills as black men.
I think that's really important. You said, and when you became a mentor, it gave you a sense of purpose. And I know that it's some people out there that's like, I want to be a mentor, but is there a certain skill set that I have to have, where they may shy away from it. But as I hear you say, which you may have inspired somebody who's listening today, where you say, come on, be a mentor, because it gives you a sense of purpose. Not only are you changing somebody else's life, but in
changing your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, it sounded like you had a champion parent, because you said she gave you cultural identity, and I think that's very huge.
Yeah.
I feel like that plays a big part in your movement.
No, indeed. Yeah, no, my father was definitely my first teacher. My mother gave me cultural identity. She made sure I knew who I was, where I was from.
And that's important.
And that was instilled at a very young age. So, my mom, Connie Jones, my father, James Neloms.
Whoa.
Yeah, definitely champion parents.
So I like to put people on the spot. So do you have a little something you can share with us this evening? Because I could rap a little something for you. Hold on, my name is Lisa, and I came to say we chilling with Quan Neloms today. Hey.
Hey, I said you did it. You good. You did it.
Yeah, that sounded
She
good.
practiced all day. She practiced.
Yeah.
We like music. We love music, love poetry, all that good stuff. So,
So, yeah, go ahead.
you need a few minutes to get yourself
No,
together?
next time.
Next time.
Okay, next time.
Yeah.
But we would be remiss, ladies, because you all were on TED Talk as well, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
let's
we
talk
were.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. So, we were contacted by TED Talk Detroit, and they wanted us to, what got the whole movement started is that one of the first things we put out was a hip hop song that featured all teachers. There was probably about maybe 20 teachers involved and black men, and we just did a call out. We did a cipher in which we called out other black men. We put out the signal for them to join the movement. And so that came across TED Talks Detroit's desk, and they saw it and they wanted us on stage. And so we got a chance to talk about in demand the importance of black men to be activated as teachers, mentors, and volunteers in Detroit. We got a chance to do that. And I actually rap a little bit in front of a live audience at
That he's going to give us at a later date.
yeah, at Masonic Temple. So that was definitely a great morning, afternoon for us.
Wow.
That's
so
great.
I'm going to say, with everything that you do, if you ever need Mommy Talk to support you in your efforts,
We're definitely here.
We're here,
Right.
because, again, it's a community effort. And although
Yes.
we are called Mommy Talk, we are for the parents.
Yeah.
It's all about the champion parents. So we talked about Teach 313. We talked about In Demand. We talked about the Lyricist Society. Can you share for the listeners all of your followings?
Yeah. So you can get us on our website. We also have a podcast that we produce every
Yes.
month. If you go
That's
to
the In Demand podcast.
In Demand, yeah, In Demand podcast, IamInDemand.com. You can go on IamInDemand.com and follow our podcast. You can also sign up if you are a black man in Detroit, and you're looking to get involved. You're looking to be a revolutionary. Sign up at IamInDemand.com. We would definitely connect you with the opportunities that you would need to be involved in our schools and communities. LyricistSociety.com. You can see all the work that our young people in Detroit are doing that's involved in Lyricist Society. We have some very talented young men and women. You can follow us on Instagram, In Demand 313, Lyricist Society 313. You can follow me. I follow back on Twitter. Everything's the same on Twitter. In Demand 313. Teach Lyricist Society. Lyricist 313. And then, of course, my name Quan Neloms. You can follow me on Twitter, and I'll follow you
One
back.
L.
Yeah, same thing on 1L. Same thing on Facebook as well. Teach313.org. You can log in. That's for anybody that's looking to be a teacher, whether you're black, white, male, female. We're looking to attract teachers as well. So teach313.org, and that's how you can get in touch with us.
And I just want to add, with the Detroit Public Schools, actually all the teachers were given a charge to recruit teachers and for an incentive or whatever, but Mr. Neloms took it one step further,
indeed.
and boom, In Demand just took off. So I definitely applaud you for that, because you really took the charge, and he is widely respected around the city of Detroit.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
So kudos and all that good stuff.
Good. So thank you for tuning in with us here at Mommy Talk. And again, we'd like to send a special thank you for our special guest, Mr. Quan Neloms.
Thank you.
And as always, it's a pleasure, and we appreciate your continued support. Please remember to follow us on our social media at mommytalknetwork.com. Well, mommytalk.com, MOMMIE talk.com. And our social media following is Mommy Talk Network. Next week, we'll have a special guest, Tracy E. Christian. She's a special author and other things, does positive things around the city. Thank you for tuning in.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Mommy Talk, the champions of parenting. And remember, you too can be a champion of parenting. Continue to support and love your children. For additional information, you can contact us at info@mommytalk.com or visit our website at www.mommytalk.com. We can also be found via social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Mommy Talk Network. Please listen to us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. on WCHB Detroit's Gospel Station.
Come talk to us.